Welcome to the Oklahoma City's Honor Roll of Service ceremony. My name is Christy Yeager. I'm the Public Information Officer, and I'll be your MC today. The Oklahoma Municipal League sponsors the Honor Roll of Service for cities and towns throughout the state of Oklahoma. Each year, they honor city employees statewide who reach the 25-year service milestone. We're proud to add 146 employees to the Honor Roll this year. Combined, today's honorees have more than 3,650 years of service. Will all the honorees please stand so we can recognize you? Today we're here to honor and thank you for your commitment and accomplishments over the past 25 years. 1990 seems like it was just yesterday. How many of you thought you'd be sitting in this ceremony when you started with the city 25 years ago? I bet some of you thought, oh, this is a pit stop for me. I'll be in and out and find another job. And here you are. Your 25th anniversary is a perfect occasion to pause and reflect back on the experiences that you've had in your career. The positions you've had, the projects you've completed, the crazy people you've worked with, and the coworkers that have touched your life. For the last few weeks, I've been contemplating longevity. And I was thinking, why? I've been here for 18 years, and I was wondering why people would stay for 25 years. I have my reasons for staying, but I wanted to know a little bit more about the psyche of others that have stayed. So I asked a few people, and I want to start with Communications Technology Manager Lucian Jones. Lucian, are you here? Here he is. Okay, well, Lucian's story is unique. It's unique because it literally took Lucian 43 years to get his 25-year pin. It did, and let me explain. Lucian worked for the police department for 20 years. And then, for some reason, he quit and decided that he was going to work for the Bethany Police Department, right, Lucian? Oh, you worked for Bethany first. Okay. And then he came back and took a position in IT, in MIS. IT was called MIS back then, and that's where he's been for the last 25 years. Do I have that story right? Yes. So Lucian deserves a medal for his years of service, and he says that he stayed so long with the city because the city has provided him with a rewarding career centered around applying technology to public safety. So he gets personal satisfaction out of his job. I want to move next to Police Sergeant Gary Knight. Is Gary able to pull away from the PIO office? Is he here? We have to tell him about this. He said, once I became a police officer here, there was never any danger of leaving. I had opportunities, but OKC is the gold standard for law enforcement. Going to work for the City of Oklahoma City Police Department is the best decision I've ever made. And I heard from Tina Hughes. Is Tina here? There she is in the very back. She's one of our municipal counselors. And she said, I love working for the City of Oklahoma City. The work I do is interesting and challenging, and positively impacts the lives of citizens. I've been blessed to work alongside gifted and dedicated public servants. I asked Sharon Briles what she thought. Is Sharon here? There you are. Hi, Sharon. She likes the variety of people she works with and gets satisfaction from helping others. Sharon recently got her third promotion, so she says she plans to stay for another 10 years. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully it will. We'd love to have you for another 10 years. 35 years, that'd be great. Is Deborah Anderson here? Okay, Deborah. Deborah's an office administrator, and she said she just graduated from college when she accepted her first job with the city in the water department. She thought it'd be a pit stop until she found another job. But she's enjoyed her career with the city so much she decided to stay. And last but not least, I talked to Personnel Assistant Director Monica Coleman. Monica, you're here somewhere. There you are, front row. She had a mentor former municipal councilor Jim Hamill to thank for her longevity. He was integral in putting her on her current career path. And what's interesting about Monica is that she's following in her father's footsteps. He is on the OML Honor Roll of Service, and now she joins him. As I was going through some people's reasons why they stayed with the city, several themes really reoccurred of why people decided to continue their service. They were, one, because they enjoy serving residents and they feel they are contributing to the city of Oklahoma City's goals. Two, because they enjoy and value the professionalism of their coworkers and those people who have now become friends to them. And three, because they had a mentor who helped them succeed. And thinking about success and mentorship, I hope everyone here will take the time to mentor a new employee. You have more influence than you ever realize over who will be sitting in this room 25 years from now, celebrating their 25-year honor roll of service ceremony. So think about that as you're out in the workplace and you're encouraging other employees. They really, really depend on you to help guide them. Well, in case you're wondering, our city manager, Jim Couch, is a 29-year city employee. He began his career in 1987 as the utilities director. He's a baby compared to Lucian Jones, but we'll still bring him up to the lectern. Please welcome Jim Couch to the podium.
Thank you, Chrissy. Looking good, Lucian. Today we celebrate our guests of honors and their achievements of 25 years of service. As a public servant, it's a milestone to be proud of. You've earned this recognition, and it's an honor to celebrate it with you. I want to congratulate and thank you on behalf of your supervisors, your department heads, colleagues, and our city residents. Your unwavering commitment to our community has left a priceless impact on our city. I cannot thank you enough for your service and your dedication. We appreciate the dedication you've put into making the city a better place. Day by day throughout the past 25 years, you've helped shape Oklahoma City into the great city we are today. You've evolved gracefully and efficiently with the changes brought by the 21st century. You've worked tirelessly through some of the city's biggest disasters and tragedies. You've watched people come and go, and through it all, you've served with pride. You've spent a lifetime serving our city and its residents. Over the past 25 years, you've built strong relationships with your coworkers and customers. Your enthusiasm and commitment have improved our community. Our citizens appreciate that. In our 2015 citizen survey, 80% of our citizens said we were on the right track. 67 of the residents surveyed were satisfied with the overall quality of services provided by the city, and that's 19% higher than the national average for large cities. That's pretty significant. The service you provided exceeded all expectations. Through good and tough times, you've made sure that the city was heading in the right direction and that our residents were satisfied. Our honorees come to work for the city in 1990 when shoulder pads were in style and The Simpsons were being introduced to the American public. Some things have changed, some remain the same. Let's look back at the things that were going on in the year you started with the city. We've only had 4 mayors in the past 25 years, and most people would only count 3, by the way. I'll explain that in a minute. When he started in 1990, Ron Norick was mayor, and he served until 1998 when Kirk Humphrey served from 98 to 2003. Now, Guy Liebman's the one that we don't all remember, the Guy Liebman administration, but Guy was a city councilman, and when Mayor Humphreys resigned to run for the U.S. Senate, Guy stepped in for a few months. So that would be the third one. All don't remember the Liebman administration. And then he served until Mayor Cornett was elected in 2004. In 1990, the city saw further expansion and development in Bricktown and a real sense of excitement for downtown. Annual revenues events were established to bring crowds downtown. We welcomed the Cavalry, remember our CBA team? They were in the Myriad Convention Center. Improvements were made at the fairgrounds, especially to the horse barns. Paul Hearn was city manager, but then in December she announced that she'd accepted a position to head the state's Office of Public Affairs. Dave McBride became police chief, and he adopted the philosophy of neighborhood-oriented policing. The city entered into a partnership with a private company to provide the first curbside recycling program in Oklahoma City. The city put out its fourth State of the City program to its citizens. Here are some of the main projects and accomplishments for the year. The police department provided more enforcement to reduce neighborhood crimes, from traffic offenses to drug dealing. The number of crimes reported in 1990 was 4% lower than 1989. Police also spent more time with young people with programs to encourage healthy personal development and responsible social behavior. EMSA took over citywide emergency medical services on April 15th. The Parks and Recreation Department planted 3,089 trees on public property, and Oklahoma City was recognized as having the best drinking water in 4 state regions: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. More than 20 miles of old sewer lines were replaced, reducing the number of recorded sewer problems by 1/2. The city took over administration of the parking lots and garages previously operated by COCTA. City residents approved an 8-cent sales tax to support the Oklahoma City Zoo. On the employees' side, the City is Me campaign was launched. The campaign focused on offering better and smarter customer service to our citizens. National George W. Bush was president, and Time magazine recognized him as a Man of the Year. Doug Wilder was the first elected African-American governor in Virginia. United States, Britain, and France gave Germany the okay to reunify, and the Berlin Wall came down. Microsoft released Windows 3.0. Lucian, you still running that? Apparently not. President Bush signed the Americans with Disability Act. The Gulf War began. The World Wide Web was created. I guess Al Gore did that, right? Created the first ever web page and web browser. Nelson Mandela was released after 27 years of imprisonment. National unemployment rate was 5.3%. Back in 1990, average income was $28,000 a year. Gallon of gas was $1.34, kind of about what it is today. That's not so good. Gallon of milk was $2.79. Postage stamp was 25 cents, and an IBM computer you could get from $1,000 to $2,000. In sports, Super Bowl 24. Oh no, the 49ers beat the Broncos, and that was not a good day. MVP was Joe Montana. Cost of a Super Bowl ad in 1990 was $700,000. In 2016, it's $4.5 million. Wow. Baseball owners locked out the players for 32 days, and in the World Series, the Cincinnati Reds beat the Oakland A's, and the Detroit Pistons defeated the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA Finals. National championship in football that year was a split between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Okay, in entertainment, Home Alone and Pretty Woman premiered in the theaters, and Seinfeld debuted on NBC. And you can still see Seinfeld. Best picture was Dances with Wolves. Record of the year was Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins. Outstanding drama series, LA Law, and outstanding comedy series is Cheers. We all remember that. Your journey with the city started the moment you sat down for your orientation. Since then, you've been gone from being a trainee to a trainer, celebrated many holidays and birthdays with your city family, and served Oklahoma City residents countless times. The past 25 years brought their shares of up and downs, victories and defeat, celebrations and mournings. Whether you spent them in an office or in the field, each day you spent serving our residents has led us to where we are today. One of the great strengths of our city service, what helps make it one of the best in this country, is that you take pride in your work. Simply look around at your coworkers who are here with you, and look within yourself. There's pride in the job that you've done and that you continue to do. I strongly believe that city employees are the main reason for our city's success. I encourage each of you to pass on some wisdom and knowledge you've learned over the past 25 years. Your expertise is invaluable to the city's past, future, and present. It is thanks to your commitment to building strong relationships with our residents that we now call ourselves a progressive, thriving city. It's thanks to you and your relentless service that Oklahoma City is a better place to work and play. My sincere thanks and appreciation to all of you for the jobs that you do and the way that you do them. Congratulations to our honorees on reaching your 25-year service milestone. Thank you.
Carolyn Stager is the Executive Director of the Oklahoma Municipal League, and at this time of year, she travels from city to city to congratulate employees on their 25-year service milestone. Carolyn, can you come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you, Christy. It's a privilege to be here with you this year once again to honor those individuals who have given 25 years of service, and in Lucian's case, many more than that. And actually, that's not so uncommon because we have had several requests just this year in saying, do you have an award for someone that served 30, 35, and even up to 40? So we've actually put together special certificates. So anyway, you might want to keep that in mind in the future. And Lucian, I'll make sure I bring you one of those. You're just on the spotlight today. Several years ago, the OML Board of Directors wanted to determine a way to honor those individuals that had provided so much service to their communities and came up with the Honor Roll of Service, as Christy has told you about. And so each of your names, and how fun to see second generation. Now I'm going to go back and have to look for your dad's name. Your name will be inscribed in a leather-bound book that's on permanent display at the OML offices. And so if you're in Oklahoma City, right down on 23rd and Lincoln, just stop by and take a peek. So on behalf of the OML and the Board of Directors, I just want to say thank you and congratulations.
Well, Carolyn, thank you, and thank you for sponsoring this very important ceremony. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. Well, honorees will receive a certificate, a lapel pin, and a congratulation letter from Mr. Couch. Your name will be added to the Honor Roll of Service book located at the Municipal League office. You can go by there anytime and look at it. So now we're going to start giving those certificates out. So as I call your name, please come forward. We're going to start with the Airports Department. Mark Cranenberg is the director, and Laverne Parker is our honoree. Laverne, are you here? Oh, yeah. I should have asked you for your story, Laverne, clearly. Laverne is a municipal accountant, too. Our next department is Development Services. The director is Bob Tiener. And we have 5 employees who have hit their 25-year milestone. Let's start with Marcy Droke. She's an animal welfare officer, too. Harvey Fry, plans examiner. See, Harvey's not here. Christopher Moses is a unit operations leader. Christopher's here today. Wendy Pearson, animal welfare supervisor. And Jane Ward, she's an inspection services superintendent. Our next department is the fire department. The fire chief is Keith Bryant. Chief? So here's the deal with fire and police. A lot of people will not be here, so I'm going to start naming off the names, and they'll come up as to get their pen as they're here. I'll try to do it slowly, but if you try to applause after everybody's name, we'll be here till 5 o'clock tonight. And many people have retired. Oh, excellent. So we're going to start with Steve Baggs. He's a major. Steve, are you here? Battalion Chief John Berry. Major Sean Bray. Major Russell Burkhalter, Lieutenant Todd Chapman, Lieutenant Robin Corbett. We're glad you're here today. Oh, Colbert. Sorry, should have known that. Is it Colbert? Lieutenant Corbin Colson, Battalion Chief Albert Cothran. Major Curtis Daly, Lieutenant Sheldon Doolin, Lieutenant Richard Fulton, Lieutenant Steve Grellner, Major Lyndall Hadlock, Office Coordinator Teresa Haig, Major Gregory Hurd, Major Ronald Huff, Corporal Bob Lester, Corporal Lisa Little, Major William McDonald, Lieutenant Brian Miller, Major Andre Muncie, Major Paul Muskrat, Administrative Assistant Janice Pullen. You have a cheering section over here, don't you? Lieutenant Delbert Ramsey, Corporal Raymond Richards, Lieutenant Ari Sawyer, Lieutenant Craig Schultz, Lieutenant Jason Smith, Battalion Chief Brian Stanilan. Oh, there you are. Major Brian Story, Office Coordinator Jan Sidness, Lieutenant Paul Vale, Battalion Chief Michael Walker, Major John Williams, Lieutenant Steve Wilson, and that is it for fire. Thank you. Next up is General Services. The director is Paula Falkenstein. And is Furman Elgert here? Furman's retired, you know. He's a master mechanic, but if you'll take back his... Information technology is the next department. Shad Meldrum is the director, and we've got 4 people we are recognizing from that department. They are Steve Byers, who's a systems support specialist 2. We have 4 million year city employee, Lucian Jones. He's gonna get me. Systems Analyst 2, Mark McQuinney. The tallest man in city government. And Systems Support Technician 2, Bobby Rogers. Next up is the MAPS office. The director is David Todd. He has 1 employee who is celebrating today. It's Trust Specialist Alan Jones. The municipal counselor's office is up next. Cindy Richard is here to make the presentation. I don't know how you pulled that off, but that was brilliant. And we are acknowledging an assistant municipal counselor 2, Marcia Herod. Assistant Municipal Counselor 2, Edward Hasbrook. And Assistant Municipal Counselor 2, I call her the Pothole Queen, Tina Hughes. Municipal Courts is next. We have a new director up. Her name is LaShawn Thompson. And 2 people are being honored. The first one is Senior Municipal Court Clerk Nancy Bird. And the second is Unit Operations Leader, Melissa Dawn Meredith. Congratulations. Doug Cupper is here from the Parks Department. He has 1 employee who is getting his 25-year pin today, and that is Grounds Maintenance Operator Rodney Hatter. Rodney, are you here? Diana Berry is our Personnel Director. She has 1 employee who is... She's got 1 employee who's getting her pin today, and that's Monica Coley Coleman. Monica probably hired half the people in this room. Yeah, better than firing. That's right. If you're still here, she didn't fire you. That's a good sign. From the planning department, Aubrey Hammond-Tree's the director. She's not here. Her employee, Steve Rhodes, wasn't able to make it. But if you see Steve in the halls, say congratulations to him. Now, on to the police department. They have 60 employees to be recognized. The chief is Bill City. We're going to start with Captain Damon Alexander. Police Dispatch Coordinator, Wyvetta Barclay. Is she here? No. This is going to be another department where they've had a lot of retirements or a lot of people that are on different shifts that aren't able to come today. That's a big problem with police and fires. They're shifting. So Sergeant Stephen Brackeen, Lieutenant Roger Bratcher, Administrative Coordinator Dana Brown, (911) Supervisor Mickey Carney. Sergeant Sergeant Robert Dunnigan Jr. Office Assistant Mary Dunnigan. Sergeant Lyndall Easley. Sergeant Bill Essman. Is Bill here? Okay. Office Assistant Donna Fitzgerald. Contract Coordinator Sandra Sue Flippo. Sergeant Tony Foreman, Captain James French, Office Assistant Sharon Gray, Sergeant Darren Guthrie, Sergeant Donald Hodges, Police Identification Technician 1 Dolores Honey, Lieutenant Ronnie Hurd, Lieutenant Lance Hudson, Sergeant Ron Eisen, Sergeant Thomas Jaha, Office Assistant Tina Jones, Sergeant Michael Kelly, Lieutenant Silvio Kimmel, Sergeant Gary Knight, Sergeant Michael Knight, Lieutenant Vernon Creeth, Sergeant Charles Lack, Police Report Clerk Darlene Mangum, Lieutenant Stuart May, Lieutenant Gregory McAllister, Sergeant Lisa McCoy, Sergeant Mitchell McCoy, Sergeant Harvey Moore, Lieutenant Russell Neal, Sergeant Casey Owens, Sergeant David Pennington, Sergeant Kenneth Peters, Sergeant Ricky Pierce, Lieutenant Miguel Ramos, Lieutenant Tammy Reeder, Business Manager Renee Sakow, Senior Forensic Drug Chemist Matthew Scott, Lieutenant Jamel Shields, Sergeant Dennis Stewart, let me boost you up. Mark McQuinney. Major Patrick Stewart. Sergeant Christopher Soriano, Sergeant Jeffrey Tanksley, Sergeant Mark Teachman, Sergeant Stephen Thomas, Sergeant Stephen Vassar, Office Assistant Deborah Vowell, Sergeant Robert Weemhoff, Jr., 911 Supervisor Joanna West. Sergeant Kenneth Whitebird, Sergeant John Whitekiller, Administrative Coordinator Linda Gale Williford, Office Coordinator Carrie Weiss, and 911 Dispatcher John Zondlow. Next, on to Public Works. The director is Eric Winger, and he's got 11 people today. The first is Linda Blackwood. She's a customer service representative. Sharon Dolores Briles, office coordinator. Heavy truck driver Larry Houston. Crew chief Michael Harjosi. Field operations supervisor Jamie Harrison. Traffic maintenance worker David Listenberry. Traffic maintenance worker Otis McDonald. Civil Engineer 2, Georges Nader. Heavy Truck Driver, Daniel Viejo. Environmental Technician, Donna Wyke. Heavy Truck Driver, Larry White. The last department we have today is the Utilities Department. The director is Marcia Slaughter. And you were probably director, Mr. Couch, when these people were hired on, right? Yeah. And we're going to start with Office Administrator Deborah K. Anderson. Senior Water Quality Technician, Alyssa Ashby. Unit Operations Leader, Connie Bennett. Unit Operations Supervisor Shannon Calhoun. Utility Worker 1, Jesus Chavez. Construction Equipment Operator 1, Timothy Curtis. Crew Chief Thomas Davis. Chief Meter Reader Bruce Duncans. Utilities Customer Service Rep Arnold Grossman. Senior Inventory Technician Fred Ham. Plant Operator Cheryl Hutchinson. Field Operations Supervisor Stacy Ingerson. Pipeline Mechanic Raymond Lacey. Utility Worker 2, James Llewellyn. Facilities and Plant Mechanic Supervisor Mitchell Logan. Crew Chief Sean Meadows. Field Operations Supervisor William Prater. Field Operations Supervisor Carrie Spencer. Communications Dispatcher Linda Willis. And Communications Dispatcher Candy Wilson. Okay, all right, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. Congratulations again, and thank you for your service to the city.